Yo, what's going on, guys? Your boy Pony Montana, and in this video we are going to be going over the best defense in Madden 23. This is the third video in a row where I'm going over a very good defense, but you guys wanted a set it and forget it kind of defense, and that's exactly what we're going to bring to you today. Now, before I get into it, if you guys are new to the channel, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment down below on anything you guys need on the channel. We are going to be taking a different route when it comes to these videos. Hopefully they're a little bit higher quality for those of you guys who want a little bit more fun when it comes to this. So again, subscribe if you are new, like the video, comment below. FTA for the algorithm. For those of y'all who are back for another one, y'all should know the vibes already, man. FTA for the algorithm helps push these videos out to more and more people. Now, the defense that we're going to be going over today is an oldie but a goodie, and we're going to be coming out of 3-3 cub formation. But for those of you guys who want safeties everywhere around the field, we're going to come out in nickel 3-3, and then we're going to audible down into the 3-3 cub formation. Now, one thing that you guys can do for that is substitute your safeties into these positions so that you guys can have faster players screaming off of the edge when it comes to the nickel 3-3 cub formation. Now, first things first, when it comes to this, abilities. The main two abilities that you guys are going to need to have on your field are deep route KO and medium route KO. KOs are literally the most important thing to any defense in this game now. KOs and pretty much secure tacklers. That's the main thing that you guys need on most of your players, and there's a pretty easy way to get a stack of all of this on most of your players. So currently in Madden, most of the players pretty much can have that stack in Madden Ultimate Team, at least, of 2 AP for those two abilities. So the way I have it set up is I have it on all 5 of my DBs, and I have a couple of abilities spread out to other players, because I'm able to pretty much put that on. But if you guys cannot afford that, if you guys have a cheaper team, make sure that you have this ability stack on your cornerback 1, your cornerback 2, and your cornerback 3. Just leave them off the safeties, and if you do have that extra AP, just put deep route KO on one of your safeties, and you're going to be good to go. Now, let's go ahead and check out the coach adjustments, because there are a couple things that you guys might need to do. And the first thing is go down to ball and air defense, and you're going to be playing the receiver. You're not going for interceptions when it comes to this defense. You're simply going for the swat or for the knockout. You want your KO to activate so that you can go ahead and pretty much have them, messing things up on certain downs. And then you're going to go down to your flats, your zones. And any zone that you put on the field is going to have to be a short one. Why? Because we already have deep route and medium route KO, pretty much like making sure that any routes that are above that 10-yard mark are going to get knocked out regardless. So we're going to keep these flats and your hooks pretty much from a 0 up to the 10. So I'm going to leave them around 0 to 5, all 3 of them. Doesn't matter, you can mix and match them. It doesn't matter how you do it, but leaving them there is going to make it so that your people that are manned up are just going to work a little bit harder, and it's going to work out. It's going to work wonders for anybody who is trying to stop these players from going underneath to combat your defense. Now, the main thing about this defense is the blitz. The blitz is going to come home, and you are going to frustrate a lot of the people that you are playing. So let's go over the blitz, and then we'll go over the pass defense, and then we'll go over the run defense. So we're going to go ahead and call Mike Blitz O. That's going to be the main play that we are going to be coming out in, and the blitz is fairly simple. So if I set up the defense is completely set up for, complete pass defense. And yes, I'm backing up the outside cornerbacks because I feel like it creates crazy pressure, right? So boom, nothing they could do. Very difficult to do anything against something like that, especially with the blitz coming home. So we are going to go over the blitz twice. Once for those of you guys who are, pretty moderately good at the game, and then once for those of you guys who are brand new and need your step-by-step direction. But as you can see, if they send out 5 routes, they have to get rid of the ball extremely quick. So let's go over the blitz. We're going to go ahead and press our defense, crash our defense up, crash our D line up, and then that's pretty much it. Bring your user down. One of the easiest blitzes to send in this game, and I could have done a two-parter for this, but it is one of the easiest blitzes in the game, and that time we actually got nano detected, which is a little bit frustrating, but very, very easy. Now, the way that you do this is you press, crash your D-line up, and then hover above the running back. So to press, you press triangle and then down on the directional pad, and then you're going to crash your D-line up, which is left on the directional pad. It accesses the D-line, and then up on the point of attack on your right stick. And that's going to be the defense. That's it. It's going to create a lot of pressure. You can even crash down, or you can not crash at all. I will go over the crashing down portion of this as well, but this is how it looks like if you're crashing down. As you can see, sometimes it's not as consistent. So that's exactly why I like to sit there and make sure that the defense is set up and we're crashing towards the outside, because these guys here kind of create like a little edge pressure, allowing these guys to kind of set an even wider edge. And sometimes you end up getting dual pressure. And once you start getting dual pressure, things get real scary for the person that's on the other end of that, and it gets frustrating. Now, let's go over the pass defense, the pass defensive portion of this blitz. Now, there's going to be two ways that you guys can run this, and that is with not blitzing your team at all. So if I let me just call a play real quick. So I'm just gonna go out of bounds here. So we can do it to where we don't press our defense at all, but we are always going to be shading over the top and to the outside, especially if we're facing tight formations. And if you do that, I personally like to bring these safeties down and inside. So down and inside is how I'm gonna sit there and run this. And once you do that, the only person that you guys really have to focus on is this guy here. Because in this play specifically, this is one of the most popular plays in Madden. He might get over the top of the defense when it comes to that specific play, and I'll actually showcase this real quick. Sometimes he'll clamp it up, as you can see, but this time he got over the top, and it's going to be extremely frustrating to stop that. So I like to back that person up individually. So the way that I run this, you can either back up everybody like this, but what happens when you back up everybody like that is they kind of have free reign to throw to that tight end, to throw to their running back, depending on the route that they're in. But this is going to be the easy way to set it up, is setting up the defense like this, and then making sure that your user, because no matter what, because we are manned up, this guy's going to be manned up on him, and this guy's going to be manned up on him. 99% of the time, the safeties are going to be manned up on the running back and the tight end. So your user is going to have to dart towards the right side, simply because this running back might be going out on some kind of wheel route, or the tight end might be going out on some kind of deep, like shorter route. If the tight end goes on some kind of a drag, I'm sorry, but you're just going to be toast. And that's one of the reasons why I kind of like to have them still in that area where they're about right here. You know, kind of like the default area for the play. Everybody else is fair game. Why? Because from time to time, we are going to be confusing the offense, and putting these guys out in hard flats, which means that they won't be able to just completely dart towards that hard flat. And it's going to be extremely, extremely frustrating for the person to kind of get a beat on whatever it is that we're running. So we're going to go ahead and call a play one more time so I can show you guys how I set it up myself. And this is where it's not completely set it and forget it. You're going to sit there and you're going to press. Nope. I call timeout on the opposite controller. So let me call a play one more time again. So again, we're sending Mike Blitzo, and I'm going to press. Well, I don't really need to press the defense, because if we press the defense, it just moves the safeties up just a tiny bit. And I prefer that, honestly. It kind of compresses the defense and makes everything look real, real nice. And that's kind of how I like it. But we're going to set up everything else. I don't know why I just shifted my line, but we're going to take our defensive backs, and we're going to individually shade them back. Okay. Now we're going to individually bring them back. Okay. So we're going to press our defense and then individually bring them back. And then once you do that, you're going to shade over the top and then shade outside. And that is going to clamp up most of the people in this game very easily. Now, if I showcase that instant replay, because everybody is kind of backed up, they run towards the routes pretty quick. So the only route that was kind of open was this one. But as you can see, our user kind of went down there, kind of scaring the person from throwing it. And that's usually what happens. The only route that looks like it could be thrown quick is this route out here. But for the most part, the deep routes that everybody ends up trying to throw were pretty much clamped up. And then the blitz got home fast enough for us to sit there and clamp everything up. So again, I like doing it like this because I feel like we end up having a ton of pressure. But one of the main reasons why I like to do that is because a play like this, PA post shot, one of the most important plays in gun tight offset, gets pretty much gets clamped up fairly easily when it comes to this. So again, we're going to shade over the top and we're going to shade towards the outside like we have been, and we're going to put our user in some form of a zone coverage like we have been as well. And as you can see, that KO lights up, knocks the ball out, everything clamped up, GG's. That's everybody's bread and butter route. I can't stand it, but everything else is pretty much clamped up. The only route this kind of seems like it's open, but a lot of the times if people throw it, for some reason, it gets caught up to and it gets knocked out. Because again, these abilities are going to make it so that everything that gets thrown gets knocked out, especially if we're playing by receiver. For some reason, I don't know why this happens all the time with this play, but that's literally just a fluky kind of situation that happens where he gets bumped up there. He gets bumped up here, and then it kind of slows the defender down. It should be offensive pass interference, but we all know how Madden works. But this is not this. It doesn't happen that often when you actually play the game, which is one of the beautiful things about it. So again, press, shade over the top. Individually bring your cornerback 1, 2, and 3. Individually bring them back up. Shade over the top. Shade outside. Shade over the top. And that's it. Your defense is completely set. And a lot of people are going to have a tough time pretty much moving the ball when it comes to this kind of defense. It's going to be very, very frustrating, especially if you're taking away the underneath routes. Now, once they get comfortable with you doing that, if you want to sit there and take these outside linebackers and put them in hard flats, you can do that as well. And now all of a sudden, those flats that you put towards that outside are going to make it even more difficult for your defender to sit there and have any routes that are open. So again, everything is clamped up. Every single thing is clamped up. Your user's going to work, waiting for a good route bounce. And then the pressure gets home and you end up getting a sack. This is very, very good defense. And one of the main reasons why I've been running this instead of dollar is because it's also decent. Not only is it also decent run defense, but the main key to this is pro players are all using threat detector. Not even if you're a pro player. If you're just a competitive player, you're utilizing threat detector on your O-line somewhere. And when you are utilizing threat detector, for those of you guys who don't know, on third down, it pops up little red symbols on the outside guys. Like if I put this guy in a blitz, a little red symbol will pop up indicating and showcasing to whoever is on offense that I'm blitzing on third and fourth down. In this defense, that is no longer the case. For some reason, only one of the linebackers get detected, and if you're sending 4 people, all you have to do is contain, and then it'll take it away. So you will literally be confusing the heck out of whoever it is that you guys are playing with this defense, whether you guys are blitzing or whether you guys are just sending 3 people, and that's going to frustrate your opponent a lot. I promise you. They'll start throwing right at certain people thinking that they have to get rid of the ball quick. And that's one of the best things that you could do in any defense is force your opponent to sit there and get frustrated to the point where they're just throwing the pass to random people. Now, for the run defense, this is the portion where you're going to be crashing your D-line down. And it's going to be fairly simple. So if I go ahead and I audible into an inside zone, you're always going to be huddled right behind where the running back is. So in this situation, we're going to make sure that we loop around. And as you can see, You can click off, you can do whatever it is that you guys want, but I prefer to click on that X button simply because of a situation like this. If Derrick Henry's coming at you full force, you want to make sure that you're pressing that X button and look at how good the defense is against that inside zone. Even against the 0-1 trap, I'm not going to audible into the 0-1 trap, but even against the 0-1 trap, having so many people in the box is going to frustrate your opponent to the point where they're not going to run this anymore. It's going to be extremely, extremely frustrating. But I will call timeout and audible into some form of a stretch play. So let's go ahead and hop into wing pair. Actually, no, wing pair is one of those weird ones. Let's hop into single back deuce close, which is a favorite for a lot of people. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to crash down, and I like to contain, but we're going to crash down, and then we're going to hover right above. Now, deuce close is one of those formations where you guys have to see where the strong side is, and right now this seems like it's the strong side because that's where they set up our nickel. So we're going to prepare to run our defense towards that left side, and he went to the right side. And typically you're going to sit there and have a secure tackler out there. Right now I don't, and I'll explain why afterwards. Well, it's because the milkman, I was testing something out, so I wasn't able to switch that back. But that's typically what we're gonna. Well, did I forget? Did I do that last time? Don't know. But again, you're gonna sit there and make sure that your user's there, and I just completely missed that because you're gonna make sure that you're pressing X on the defense. And I promise you, this is exactly how I run defense, and I have zero trouble stopping the run. And even with the X factors and stuff like that, I'm making sure that I always have some kind of a secure tackler, because this is going to be a one-on-one situation a lot of the time, and it's going to get extremely frustrating. So again, one more time, just so I could try to make it look good, because I'm trying to click on and do all that extra stuff when it comes to the run defense. But if you guys want to see this in action and see me stuffing runs towards the outside quickly, just tune into the Twitch, because that's where you guys will see all this work as properly as possible. And whenever I find another defense, I'll drop this on the channel as well. So again, you're going to crash down, make sure that your user is there, and your user is going to crash down with it. And I'm getting literally zero solid examples from switching from controller to controller. So that's going to be it for the run defensive portion of this video. But again, crash down, pinch, crash down, and take your user and make sure that you guys are pretty much trying to clog up the hole when it comes to the defensive, when it comes to run plays, pretty much. And that's going to be your run defense. Everything else is pretty much self-explanatory. But that's it. There's nothing set it and forget it kind of defense. But you listen, any defense in the game, you're going to have to do a few adjustments to make it as solid as you possibly can. This has been winning me games non-stop, over and over and over again. This is just winning me more and more games, and that's exactly why I'm bringing it to you, because this is literally one of the easiest defenses to run in Madden, in my opinion. I think it's even easier than Dollar. I think Dollar, you have to adjust a whole lot, and some people can absolutely torch it on the ground. This has done wonders for me on the ground, through passers, through whatever the case, through whatever I'm playing. This has worked wonders for me. So again, that's why I'm showing it to you guys, and that's exactly why you guys should run it. My name is Funny Montana. I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys are new to the channel, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. As always, 2 fingers, deuces, and peace out, you guys.